student asks you that, you pay attention to those teachable moments, which is why I came back to this right here. Okay, so we've got the short U sound, that's What about the long U?
You.
All right, just put it here. See, English is so fun, isn't it? US is us, but when we put an E on the end of it, it becomes use. Then we put an F on it again, it becomes fuse, okay? So when we're talking about the long U, it has to be where the U says its whole name. Use, cute,
Union.
beauty, union. Sometimes when I ask for the long U sound, this is on your quiz too, people will say rule. Because if fuel is a long U, by the way, is that a long U in fuel? Fuel, does it say U? Yes, it does. But what about rule? Is U and oo the same sound? No, it is not. We don't say, and this is why English is so hard for some kids to learn, especially when they're learning it as a second language. Fuel, okay, and rule rhymes with fuel, right? But we don't say reule. We would have to make it a long vowel sound. So actually, this is a long OO sound, like in the word cool and fool. But in fuel and you'll, see, that looks like it rhymes with that. Rule, mule, it rhymes, but do they have the same U sound? Do mule and rule have the same U sound? Do they have the same vowel sound?
No.
Phonemically, do they?
No.
No, they don't. Rule has the oo. Mule has the same vowel sound as fuel, which is the long U. I know some of you are already getting overwhelmed with this. It will all come together, believe me. We just, especially in 5 weeks, we gotta cover it, okay? But if you have questions, please write them down. Ask me afterwards, email me. We'll talk about it when we meet again next time. But it's so important to know these differences because I have been in classrooms and seen lessons where teachers are saying these two words have the same vowel sound. They don't. O-O-oo is not a long U. O-O is a long double O sound, and is the short double O sound. By the way, you need to know the difference between those sounds, and you'll need to be able to give examples of those sounds on your quiz. Okay. The long O-O and the short O-O. Another example of getting on a sequence, it doesn't matter, that's what we're talking about right now, okay? So the long O-O is oo, like in rule, and cool, and dual. We don't say dual, but we confuse the kids when we put the words up here and don't tell them these words look like they sound the same. They rhyme, but they're not, they don't have the same vowel sound. The word mule. First of all, is that a long U or a long O-O sound? Mule.
Long U.
It's a long U, right? It says its name, mule, because we don't say mule, all right? It's not mule. Rule then has a what?
Short.
Rule, long O-O, not long U, long O-O.
What is the difference? I don't understand.
What's the difference? Okay,
With the
rule. Okay, does oo sound like you? Remember, a long U says the same. A long vowel says its name. So a long U is you, like in fuel, like in mule, like in fuse, like in use. You're saying you, all right? Or in rule, you're not saying reule. You're saying rule, oo. Like it sounds like it's spelled, it sounds like it should be spelled R-O-O-L if we're generalizing, because if this is cool, and this is fool, and this is tool, why isn't rule spelled that way? Because it's English, okay? And because our language is a mixture of so many different languages, and we have so many different rules, and so many words that don't follow those rules. That is why you don't just teach the rules. You teach examples of words that follow rules, examples of words that are exceptions to the rules, because we want to read the words. Okay? Does that help?
Yes. and
All right.
Do you consider short or long?
Okay. Is this a long OO or a short OO? Is this rule like in foot, or is it a long OO like in cool? Rule, cool, long OO. A short OO is like foot, and look, and took. Where, okay, so what would food be? Food. Is that a long OO or a short OO?
Long.
Long, because it says ooh. All right? So if on your quiz, there's a question that says, give me 3 words that have a long OO sound. What 3 words could you give me other than what's up here?
I was gonna say cool too.
All right, cool. Give me another one. Remember, it doesn't have to have OO. It just has the OO sound.
Pool.
Pool.
A swimming pool.
All right.
A duel? No. Sorry.
Dual. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, either one. Dual or dual. It's, by the way, what are those words? They're pronounced the same. They're spelled differently. I know this is not the word recognition lesson, but these words are what? 2 words that are spelled differently sound the same because we're talking about sounds. Are what? Homonyms,
No. Yes.
homophones,
Pair and pair.
homophone, same sound. We're still, it's all about the sound, okay? So dual,
Those will
the
be
2 soldiers were having a duel,
Right.
or dual. There's a dual purpose for this tool, okay?
Those will be considered long O's, right?
Those would be considered long O, exactly. So there's 2 more examples of a long O sound.
Okay.
So if the question says, give me examples of words that have a long, that represent a long OO sound and a short OO sound, do you have to have the OO in there if it's the long? No, because sometimes the UE has that oo sound. So when I say sounds, close your eyes and think about words in your head. Don't try to visualize words, because you might come up with, whoa, well, food and look. All right, but that's not ooh, is it? Food is, look is not, but they both have OO. 2 different sounds. Food, ooh, long or short? Food, ooh,
Long.
long. Look,
Short.
short. Good,
Short.
good. Look, is short. Ooh is long. I promise you, when you take your state exam, there are questions that ask you how many sounds you hear in these words. Do not worry about what the people around you are thinking. You can't count sounds unless you say the sounds. Don't try to count sounds in your head. You've got to say the word to count the sounds. You want to get the question right? Say the word out loud. If you're sitting there going,
So how many sounds will
duh. How many sounds are in the word good?
G. D. 3.
Duh.
3.
4 letters, 3 sounds.
Will it be the same with look?
Okay, what about look? How many sounds do you hear in look?
3. Ooh.
You're going to get good at this.
3.
K.
3.
3.
But they would probably
How
say
about
Okay, go ahead. How about what?
the word rude? Like,
Rude. Okay, very good example. So let's look at the word rude. First of all, how many sounds are in the word rude?
3.
Ooh. D.
Good,
3.
got it. What are they?
R.
Ooh, duh. 3 sounds. Is the ooh long or short?
Long.
It's the long OO. So is this a long U?
no.
No, it's the long OO. If it were the long U, how would that word be pronounced? Reviewed. Okay? But that's how you figure out what sounds right. When your kids are trying to sound out, and if they say reviewed, they're trying, don't automatically say, well, that's not how you say that. If they say reviewed, they know that U it usually has long or short sound. They're playing with the language. They're manipulating the sounds. That's what phonemic awareness is. That's why it's so important. If they say reviewed, don't say, that's not right. Say, okay, let's look at the sounds that we hear in this word. Because sometimes U does say its name. Sometimes it says oo. Sometimes it says up. Or if you put it with O-U-G-H, oh my goodness, it goes out to another plane, okay? English has 26 letters. Those 26 letters have individually 42 sounds, which tells us that some of the letters have more than one sound. Is it any wonder that our kids have difficulty mastering what sounds the letters make in certain words? That's why you teach the sounds in words, not in isolation. Because you want to say, but what the letter O makes the ah sound in pot and in top. But in the word moo, like the cow sound, you put it with another O. Is that a long or a short? Moo. Moon. Moon. Mood. Good.
Short.
Good.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So you let your kids talk it through. They're analyzing. They're using their schema. They're trying to make sense of this language that has 26 letters, and individual letters have 42 sounds. And then we throw the R controlled in there, and then we have silent letters, and then the letters change their sound with another letter.
So you said root was what? It was
Rude. What is it? Is that a long U or a long OO? Long OO. And there are how many sounds in rude? R, oo, duh. How many letters?
4.
4 letters, 3 sounds. But then we know that rude says oo, but then we also have mood. This is why we have difficulty with spelling, because you have the same vowel sound, but it's represented by different letters within different contexts of different consonants. It's not your kids' fault. Okay? They're trying their best to make sense of this language. And second language learners, oh my goodness, they're first of all thinking of this word in their language, trying to translate it, and then make our letters fit their letter sounds. So don't get upset with them. A lot of patience when you're teaching this. Okay. Oh my goodness. Now let's go back to morpheme. We're counting sounds. Or, okay, remember we've got the OR. What happens when we have the R after a vowel? It's a what? I erased it, but tell me. It's R control. Sometimes we tell kids it's a bossy R. You ever hear that? Because it tells the vowel what to say. The vowel doesn't have a long or a short sound. When it has an R after it, it's R controlled because we got a bossy R. We also have a bossy L after the A, but we'll do that in a minute. We're tall. Okay, just hold on to that, write it down, we'll come back to it. Okay, so, or, E, M. Who said 5? Did most of you get 5? Okay. Don't think about the other letters, because we know that letters represent different sounds. Let's analyze this word. We've got we've got or, we've got PH, which says what? When PH comes together, remember, it doesn't say or, it says, or sometimes it's silent. We'll get to that later. That's another one of the fun things about English, okay? And then what's the last sound we hear in morpheme? Do we hear morpheme?
No.
We hear the or ing.
What about
But look what we have to know.